Today, kids, we're talking about salary negotiations. We're talking about knowing your worth. We're talking about oversharing on social media, and specifically how one HR hiring manager, whatever you want to call her, she kind of made a mistake, but it's something we can all learn from. Welcome to the channel Leadership with Mike. On this channel, I help new managers become more confident leaders, and I do that with no nonsense sense, if that makes any sense. Now, before we get into the video, grab your free PDF of 14 things that managers must know. When you download this today, I promise tomorrow you'll have that much more self-confidence. So grab it now. Okay, what are we talking about? You may have heard on social media that a post blew up by a Mercedes S. Johnson. And we're not here to call out anybody's errors, but we do have an opportunity to learn for ourselves. So let's do that. So Mercedes took the liberty of sharing on her private, from what I understand, her personal Facebook page. She said, I just offered a candidate $85,000 for a job, which sounds great, but the job had a budget of $130,000. I offered her that because that's what she asked for. And I personally don't have the bandwidth to give lessons on salary negotiation. Here's the lesson. Always ask for the salary you want, in brackets, deserve, no matter how large you think it might be. You never know how much money the company has to work with. Well, Mercedes. Let's talk about the mistake for Mercedes. She's a professional. She just aired out somebody's dirty laundry. Not cool, especially when you are the one who has the opportunity to say, maybe she doesn't have that liberty, but to share it on social. So now that this employee knows that they're getting screwed, how's that going to make them feel? I'm not saying everything we put out in the world, we have to worry about how it makes everybody feel, but you're a hiring manager. The people coming in to apply for jobs, to interview for jobs, have a little bit of trust in you, hoping that you have their best interest as well as the company's kind of at the forefront of your mind. Because at the end of the day, if you're screwing them at the interview, what's going to happen to their morale within the company? Now, from what I've understood, Mercedes has lost her job, unfortunately, but fortunately has moved on and believes she has learned the lesson, which is great. But now we need to talk about you. What are you going to do? First, what I need you to understand, you have to take inventory of what your skills are. What's your knowledge base? What's your experience level? What's your education level? All of this needs to be considered before you start looking for the job, before you start talking money. The next thing I'm going to advise you is if you're interviewing for a job and they say, what's your expected salary? It's okay to say, you know what, I still would like to learn a little bit more about the company. I'd still like to make sure that we're a fit. So the idea is that you're prolonging the being ruled out or taken advantage of. You're pushing that further down the interview process so that eventually the idea is that the hiring manager starts to like you, starts to realize you're the person. They get rid of all the other competition and now they're talking salary and you come in with something a little bit higher than they were expecting, but they like you, they've invested in you, they put the time in you, and they've already told everybody else to beat it. So now you have a little bit more leverage. But if that's not the case, if you can't shake this hiring manager, you need to ask, what's the range? In the situation that I just shared, the employee or the soon-to-be employee said she wanted 85,000. But Mercedes knew that the company had 130,000. Had this future employee, this potential hire, asked for the range may have been 85 to 130. But it also may have been 100 to 130. So by knowing the range, I always look at myself as I am not the bottom of the range. I may not be the top, but I'm good at that middle part and I'll work my way up. Here's the flip side that I want people to consider that I didn't see a lot of people talking about. The potential employee, the potential hire who said 85,000. Yes, she may have lost $45,000. That said, we don't know her circumstance. Maybe 85,000 was her reaching up, and you can't knock that. You would hope that a company will pay you what you're worth, but in reality, If you see a car and you want to buy it and it's on sale, you know it's worth more, but you're getting it at a better price. You never go to the dealer and say, let me pay what it's worth. You say, let me get the best deal I can. And that's how companies work. So I can't fault the company and I can't fault the hiring manager. And I also will not fault the person looking for the job. Because here's the thing, I know firsthand of somebody who took a lesser pay for a management position because they knew or they believed that it was the perfect stepping stone for them to then move up, which happened. They went from supervisor to manager to whatever their manager title is now, but they did not negotiate salary because they wanted no reason for them to not have the opportunity to get the job. They may have gotten another $10,000, $15,000, which is big money, but at the risk of pricing yourself out, this person took the gamble and bet on themselves that once they got into the job, they would move their way up. Now, this employee, they're going to take the experience. One, I mean, you know that this employee knows, this person knows. It was all over social. So I feel bad of somebody taking them and rubbing their nose in it. That hurts me a bit. But I hope this person can see this as an opportunity, because you now, by this post, if you're watching, which I highly doubt you are, but if you are watching and you're the one that got the $85,000, you've now been verified that your worth is $130,000. So don't fret. Put in the work, get the time, get the experience under your belt, spend a year, and then go look for another job in the same, something that bumps up your title. And you better have that 130 as the benchmark. Listen, money is what makes the world go round. It is what makes it so that you have a roof over your head and food in your belly. Once you have a base amount of money, and from what I've understood is that $75,000 is enough to make you happy. More money doesn't necessarily make you happier. I mean, we all want it, but it's not going to add that much value in addition. That said, take your title, take your experience, and move up. If you feel like you're being underpaid for what you bring, here's the news flash. You don't have to stay at the company. You do not have to accept the same pay and the same day in, day out. It's up to you to make the jump. Gamble on yourself to go get the other job, which has the money, the flexibility, the schedule, the benefits, whatever it is that you want. You are not stuck in the job you may feel stuck in. It's your opportunity to open your eyes and find your value and go get it. I hope that this employee understands this is building her up. Her new value, or his, I can't remember, but their new value is 130,000 US. They need to take that opportunity. They need to exploit it and get that money. If you know that your value is more, go get the money. That's what I have to say about this. Let's get you coffee, and I'll see you in the next video.